pretty kitty. Thanks for tuning in again, and if you're new, this is my sewing vlog where I talk about all things lovely and stitchy. And to begin with, I shall tell you that I am wearing my new Frankie Baseball top, which is a Tilly and the Buttons pattern. I'll show you in the book here. So I chose to make the short sleeve version and I am so pleased with it. It fits really lovely. I'm a big fan of the raglan sleeves. I like the fact that it's different colour, contrasting with this lovely swallow. So if you caught my last video, you'll know that I had a 2 metre piece of this lovely swallow jersey given to me by my husband, and I wasn't really sure what to do with it, but I have managed to squeeze 2 lovely tops out, so I'm quite pleased about that. I'll just stand up so you can see the fit. Tilly's pattern, lovely shaping. I did have to take probably a good 1.5 centimetres off each side of this top, which is funny because the other top that I made, which was the Freya, fit perfectly straight off the pattern, but this one I think is designed to have a little bit more ease, be a bit looser fitting, and from about here downwards it really had quite an exaggerated hip shape, which wasn't too flattering on me. And actually I'm really pleased because I didn't want anything too snug, but it kind of follows my natural curves, as you can see. It's got a lower back than at the front, and yeah, it's a really nice, comfy, flattering t-shirt, and I can see lots more of these in my future. I chose not to put the little triangular piece on the front here because I didn't want to interrupt. I did try it, I pinned it on, but because of the placement of the birds I thought it looked better without, so I may well make one like in the photograph at some point with the triangular piece on it. But I am super pleased with this make, and it came together really quickly. I sewed the whole thing on my overlocker. I did some twin needling around the neckband. I love my twin needle. If anyone's thinking of having a go with a twin needle, don't be intimidated. It's really quite easy. What I tend to do is I use a second bobbin. So if you wind 2 bobbins, that one for the underneath thread and another one for your second thread on the top, and just pop it on the extra spool. Most sewing machines come with 2 spools, one for winding the bobbin and one for sewing. And yeah, it's brilliant. That way you don't have to buy 2 reels of cotton. You can just get cracking. So yeah, super job. I will pop on my next make. So here we are, another Freya. If you watched my previous video, you'd have seen that I made a Freya top out of this really dark green ponte Roma, which I wasn't all that keen on, the fabric. I loved the pattern, and so I managed to squeeze another top out of that lovely swallow fabric that my husband bought me. This came from myfabrics.co.uk, I think, and it was quite reasonably priced. It was around December time that he bought it, so I'm not sure whether they still have any available on their website, but I can vouch for it. It's very soft, feels lovely to wear, and this Freya top is from Tilly's book. Again, I'm working my way through. You can see how many patterns. I've actually a bit more organised this week, and I've got them all in Ziploc bags. They're all traced off, ready to go. I'm so excited to work my way through and really get to grips with sewing with jersey. So this is the Freya Sweatshirt. Lovely pattern. It's got this mock neckline that comes almost like a half roll neck. This fits really, really well. It's such a nice shape. I just couldn't be more pleased with it. I've worn it lots actually since I made it. It's been really comfortable. It's ever so slightly see-through, being a white jersey, but if you wear nude underwear, it doesn't really show. It's not indecent. And I did some top stitching on the cuffs there, if you can see, with my twin needle again, because it's my new best friend. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. Thumbs up Tilly. So this is yet another Linden sweatshirt, because you can never have too many of those in your life. I've made several of these. I talked about it in my previous video. Grainline Studios pattern, the Linden, is really, really popular. Lots of people have made them, and comes together really nicely. I was quite keen to make something that was more spring, so I could, you know, in those times when it's actually a bit too chilly to go without a sweatshirt, I wanted something in a nice colour that would be a bit more springy, because most of my Lindens are dark coloured sweatshirts and sort of more winter wear. So I found this lovely ponte Roma, which has an embossed pattern on it like roses, and I found that in Fabricland, my local fabric shop, and I think it was about £4 a metre. It was really reasonable. They had another colourway. They had this beautiful coral pink colour, but with my colouring I thought that the pale blue would look a bit nicer. So I had an idea that I wanted to do a complementary colour on the neckband, the cuffs and the waistband. And whilst I was in Fabricland picking this fabric out, I saw this really nice grey ribbing for sale, which I'd never worked with before. I'd never worked with a ribbing, so I thought I'd give that a go. Usually I use the fabric from the main body of the sweatshirt to do the neckband, cuffs and waistband. But I quite like this sort of contrast of these sort of pastel colours together. What I didn't realise is that actually you need to make, especially with really stretchy ribbing, you need to make them quite a lot smaller so that they actually are tight. And this sweatshirt, the cuffs and the waistband particularly, aren't really as tight as I'd like it. Round the waist, it's actually quite loose fitting. And it would have been nicer if it had been a tiny bit tighter and sort of pulled it in a bit. But it was overlocked, so there was no way I was unpicking that baby. So yeah, it stayed as is and I can live with it, it's fine. So I made my daughter in my, I think it was actually probably in one of my kids' videos, I talked about this pattern, New Look. It's 6241. And it's really a favourite of ours. It comes together really quickly, especially the skirt. And when you're sewing for children, you want something sort of comfortable, and jersey just fits the bill. So I've made her 2 of these skirts previously already, but I'd made a gingerbread skirt for Christmas, so she obviously can't wear that the rest of the year round. And just a plain navy blue one, which is a bit boring, so she wanted something a bit exciting. So some of you will have seen this fabric from my last video, the octopus, that I wasn't sure what to do with, whether I could wear it or not. And as predicted, the kids decided it was theirs and they wanted stuff out of it, although I have got a bit left. So this skirt is a really simple shape. You have the yoke and the main body of the skirt. It's the same front and back, so it doesn't matter which way around you put it on, and it's literally like half an hour maybe. It usually takes a bit longer with the elastic casing, so what I tend to do is overlock all the edges. I sew the whole thing on my overlocker, but when I turn up hems I just overlock them and then use a twin needle to make it really neat and finish it off. So yeah, she is enjoying her octopus skirt, and now with the fabric that's left over, I think I may make a raglan sleeve top for my son with contrast, either a navy blue or a grey on the sleeves, because I think he'll look lovely in that. And then the octopus will be gone. And the last thing I've made is a really lovely dress from a pattern that actually I've had in my stash for ages, and for one reason or another I just haven't gotten around to making it. In my last video I talked about making a cocoa and doing a colour block with some scuba on the top and the stripes below, but I have never sewn with stripes before. They scared me a little bit. It wasn't until I was able to read Tilly's section about lining up stripes that I felt confident enough to give it a go. here's my first stripes. I'm so pleased with myself. I took my time cutting out the pieces to make sure that they were all lined up properly, and I used a walking foot, which I'd never used before on my sewing machine, so that was kind of exciting. I wanted to tack the pieces, well not really tack, I used a 2.8 stitch length I think, just to make sure that I had sewn the pieces together before I put them under the overlocker, because I was a bit worried that I'd heard several people say overlocking sometimes pushes the 2 layers of fabric and you end up with your stripes not quite matching up. So I cracked out the walking foot, and I've never used it before, and it was so easy. I don't know why I've never used it before. It's silly. It was just perfect. Kept all the stripes in the right place, so I am so pleased. They line up underneath here and underneath here and on here. Super, super excited. So this is a pattern by McCall's. You may have seen other people make this. I think it's been quite popular. It's the M6886, and it's been in my stash for ages. I think it must have come free with one of my sewing magazine subscriptions, and I sort of filed it away as one to make another day. But when I was thinking what to use this stripy fabric for, the cocoa, I do like it. It's kind of a relaxed fit, but the A-line shape I felt wasn't maybe as flattering on me as something a little bit more closer fitting. And as you can see on this pattern, it's much more of a straighter skirt than the cocoa. So I thought I would just give this a go. I went for, there's loads of different styles that you can make on the packet, V-necks, short sleeves, 3/4 length sleeves, cap sleeves. But I decided to go for version A, and I put the 3/4 length sleeves on it to because it's not quite warm enough here really to wear anything that's not got any sleeves yet. So I thought I might get to wear this a bit more now. So I'll stand up so you can see. And I will also insert some pictures because it's a bit difficult to get far enough away from the camera so that you can see the full effect. But I will get my husband to take some pictures of me wearing it. This is the first time I've done a jersey neckline where you've just ironed it under and stitched it down. I normally put a neckband on, so I've done that again with a twin needle, and I'm quite pleased with the way that turned out. So yeah, adventures in stripes. I'm quite pleased. I have to say, I love stripes, but I'm not sure I'm going to make anything stripy again in the near future, because the time and effort that went in to lining everything up, especially at the cutting stage when all the pieces, it took a long time. I was up till 10:30 last night making sure that I'd cut the pieces all out properly before I was going to sew them together. I even managed, I think, somewhere here to match, like Tilly suggests, one stripe all the way across the front, because obviously it's reasonably impossible to match all the other stripes. But I am super pleased with this dress. I think I'm going to wear it quite a lot in the warmer weather. It's quite a relaxed fit, comfy, summer pub garden kind of with a big chunky red necklace, perhaps more of a sort of nautical vibe to it. So yeah, super pleased with that. So quick change back into my Frankie Baseball top, which I've been wearing whilst I was sewing that stripy number. And that's all I got for today. So thanks for tuning in. If you like my video, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe. I'm really enjoying doing these videos. It's so much fun, and I'm excited to sew some more. So the next video will probably be some sort of a plans video. So thanks for tuning in. Bye.